everybody, welcome back to another video. So excited that you're here for my favorite video to film every single month, and that is the TBR jar. Chooses my reads for the month. Last month I chose 8 books. I actually ended up reading through 7 of those 8 books. So I was really pleased with that. It really helped me to branch out and read books that I probably would not have been reaching for that month had they not been on my TBR. It gets me to read books that I have had on my TBR for a long time, and books maybe that are a little bit more out of my comfort zone than the usual romantasy or romance that I typically do read, because I do have a good variety of books on my TBR cart. I just don't always reach for a lot of them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick another 8 books for this month. If you don't know, I have little prompts in this jar. I'm going to pick them out and they're going to give me a prompt of what to choose off of this cart. These are all books that I have physically that I have not read yet, and I want to get that number of books down. I did organize my cart a little bit more, so a lot of the sequels I've actually taken off of this cart and put up on the shelf behind me here, just because my cart was getting a little overwhelmed, and I'm obviously not going to pick up the second book in a series before picking up the first book, so it didn't really make sense to have them on my cart anyway. And I have a confession. I actually filmed like half of this video, and after I filmed it, I realized that the video was doing this really weird visual thing. I'm still kind of figuring out this camera and some of the quirks and things. So I changed the lighting a little bit, so I don't love the lighting as much now as how I had it before, but I think the camera is no longer doing the thing, so I think we have fixed that. I'm going to restart this all, pick brand new prompts, and see what happens. So that being said, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna talk a little bit less and we'll see. Oh, actually, before I do that, there is one book that is going on my TBR automatically. This is not going to count as part of my 8, but this is the Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams, and this is my book club's book of the month, just with my local friends here. This will be something that I will be reading, so that is going to be read this month. So I just wanted to make note of that. Okay, so the first prompt that I've picked is a book that has been on my TBR too long. So I have books on this cart that have been here for probably years, that I just have not reached for. So let me see. So some of these thrillers, like The Last Thing He Told Me, Her Dark Lies, all of those have been on my TBR cart for a really long time, but I'm also not really gravitating towards those. What else do I have here? I don't know if I want to read this or not, but I think the book, or one of the books at least, that's been on here the longest is this one, and this is The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I have not heard fantastic things about this book, and that's why I'm a little hesitant. It was a Reese's Book Club book, and usually those books do tend to be pretty good. I just heard that's kind of slow, and I actually did try to pick this up once, and I think I made it like 1 chapter in, and it just wasn't working for me, so I put it down momentarily. I think I'll give it another go this month. This will be the first book that I pick. I'm gonna give it another go, and if it's still just not for me, then it's a DNF. It's a DNF, and that's okay. That's fine. We can DNF books. Okay, prompt number 2. A book with an odd number of pages. Okay, so let me just go through. I'm gonna look at books that maybe I want to read this month and then see the number of pages that they have. Okay, this one has an odd number of pages. This is a book that I am interested in reading. What about this one? I am also interested in this one. Nope, that one's an even one. Do we count acknowledgements or not? I'm not counting acknowledgements. Okay, the two that I'm between is A Million Junes by Emily Henry. This is an Emily Henry book that is not as well known. It is a young adult romance, but I love Emily Henry's writing so much. And then the other one, this is, I believe, a romantasy, The High Mountain Court by A.K. Mulford. This is book 1 in a series, and I do own 3 books in this series, so they're shorter fantasies. I think it's based off of witches and things. So this is a series that I've been wanting to get into. So I'm kind of torn between these two. What's in here? I love when I find like old receipts in used books. Wow. This book was purchased in 2019. It's like a little memento that comes out of books. Wow. I have no idea who that person is, but I hope they enjoyed this book. They ended up donating it, so I mean, maybe they didn't enjoy it that much, but I think I'm going with this one. A Million Junes. I love Emily Henry, and the only other book that I have that I haven't read by her is Beach Read, and I'm saving that one to read in the summer, ideally on a beach. So I think I'm gonna put this one on because I do want a little bit more taste of Emily Henry. Next one, an award-winning book. Oh, I don't read a lot of award-winning books, so this one might be tough. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to go to my more like literary fiction section. Because I think if there's things that have won awards, probably none of my romantasy has. A Little Life is a National Award finalist. It's a winner. Oh, it is a winner. It's a winner of the Kirkus Prize. I don't know what that means, but it won something. That's scary. The Goldfinch was the winner of the Pulitzer Prize. Why is it always like the big scary books that win prizes? I mean, I guess it means they have a lot of interesting things to say in them. Which one of these two is less scary to me? This is scary. But I think my cat's coming to say hi too. But I think it's the month that I add a little life to my TBR. What do you think about that, Murphy? Is that scary? Is that a very scary thing? I'm scared. I have a lot of feelings about this, and I don't know if I'll get to this month, but I eventually want to get to this. That's why I have it on my TBR. But am I going to be okay if I read that? Ooh. Okay, I don't really know my feelings on this month so far. I am excited for the books that I'm picking, but they're like all very kind of different than what I usually read. Okay, a book with a BIPOC main character. I don't have very many of these, and I know that, and I know that that's very not great of me. Man, why do I have so many white characters in my books? Okay, so I'm kind of between, and these are two totally different books, but I'm between From the Ashes by Jessie Thistle and Legend Born. Can't see the author. This one, I don't know, is this a nonfiction? I think it might be. Yeah, I think this is. I think this is a nonfiction. Totally not something that I usually reach for. But like, honestly, it would be good for me to read a little bit more nonfiction, I think, and see some different perspectives. However, I don't have any type of fantasy on my TBR yet. This is a wild month. I'm gonna put this one on. So this is My Stories of Being Métis Homeless and Finding My Way. And this actually has very high reviews on Goodreads. I remember looking at that when I did pick it up. And I guess it's this person's story. Yeah, it says that he was abandoned as a toddler, was put in the foster care system with his two brothers, and they were cut off from all that they known. And I guess it just seems like they had a pretty rough life. Drug addicted father, a lot going on. And then I was just also looking at this person's bio as well. So he's from Saskatchewan, so he's Canadian. Fantastic. We love that. He's an assistant professor now at York University. So I think that this will probably be quite an inspirational read, and it'll be very eye-opening and something that I probably should read, especially because I have it. So I'm going to add this to my TBR. I need some lighter reads after this though, because I have a lot of heavier reads. I mean, A Million Junes and The Last Thing You Told Me are not heavy, but still books that I'm not like super excited to read. But okay, so that's 4. We're halfway there. We have another 4 to pick. Let's get some romance in there. Let's get some romantasy. What do we have? Oh my gosh. A genre you don't typically read. Oh, I should not have picked From the Ashes. Okay, because that could have been my pick for this one. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do Everybody in My Family Has Killed Somebody by Benjamin Stevenson. This is like, I believe like a murder mystery kind of thing, which is not something that I typically read, but I think it still is a little bit light, a little bit funny. I've heard good things about this book. I think this will be kind of like one of my palate cleanser books for the month. So that was quick and easy. We love that. Great. Book 5, done. Done like dinner. What's book 6 bringing? A romance book. No way. Okay, I know what I'm reading. It's not on here. Not on here, but book that I will be reading this month is going to be Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. That is my most anticipated book of the year. I love Abby Jimenez. Her books are phenomenal. Oh my God. I found her just last year and I've read everything that she has written up until this point. Yours Truly being one of my favorite books that I read in 2023. Phenomenal. That is on my TBR for sure, without a doubt. I would have been reading it this month, whether it was or not. As soon as that shows up at my door, it will be opened and be being read. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, this is prompt 6. A book by an author with the first last initial. Oh, okay. A book by an author with the first last initial as you. I assume that means same first last initial as you. I don't think that made sense, but okay. So J is the first letter of my last name. So is there anything that also starts with J for any of these last authors? I don't know if I have anything. Okay, unless I'm missing something here, I don't think that I have anything, so I'm just gonna pick another prompt. Okay, so 7th prompt is a book with a number in the title. Okay, so what do I have here? I have 6 of Crows, 9th house. I have One Night. Is that what that's called? Oh, One Night Gone. Binding 13. Binding 13. One Last Stop. This is a good one. I have lots of options for this one. 9 Perfect Strangers. You know, I have been really wanting to pick up Binding 13, so I'm not going to overthink it, and I'm just going to add this one. This is another one that really intimidates me because it's so long. It doesn't look it, but the pages, like the font is so small. I don't know if I'm going to like this book or not, but I really want to read it. I don't typically love young adult romances because it always feels weird to be like rooting for, I don't know, just to be like thinking about romance and people that are in high school. Like I'm just like so far removed from that at this point in my life that it's just not always something that hits home with me, but I'm going to give it a shot. Okay, the last book, or the last prompt anyway, the book on your TBR with the longest title. Okay. Heart of the Sun Warrior, that's pretty long. Throne of the Fallen. Is it going to be based off of words or letters? Oh my gosh, A Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I can't, like, that one's just going to be excluded because I have to read that one in October. I'm not going to read it now. Okay, I think the one that actually is the longest, other than The Secret Society, is Heart of the Sun Warrior by Su Lin Tan. This is the second book in a duology that is kind of like Japanese-inspired fantasy, romance-ish. I read the first book and I didn't love it, but I do own the second one, so I have intended to read it. I just have not been reaching for it because I'm not that excited because I didn't love the first one. And I've heard this one isn't as good as the first one either, but I would like to give it a shot just to see. Just to see, and then if it's not for me, it's not for me. Then we'll move on to something else. But that's going to be the last one that I'm going to add for the month. Okay, so let's go through. Let's go top to bottom. What do I have here? So the first book was The Non-Negotiable, which is the Dictionary of Lost Words by Pip Williams. The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. A Million Junes by Emily Henry. A Little by... My mouth doesn't even want me to be reading this book. I'm so scared. A Little Life by Hannah Yanagihara. Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. From the Ashes by Jessie Thistle. Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. Heart of the Sun Warrior by Su Lin Tan. And then Not Seen Yet is going to be Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. That's an interesting reading month, if I did say so myself. I think this month has the opportunity to either be a really good reading month or a really bad reading month. I do feel myself yet again on the brink of a slump. There's just been a couple books that I've read recently that just like have not really hit, particularly a big fantasy book that I've been reading that I put a lot of effort into and it just didn't really pay off. There are some here that that could be really good or they could make me more slumpy, but all in all, I'm always excited for another reading month. I'm always excited to pick up new books that are new to me, or books I've never heard of, books that are very highly anticipated. And I do have a good variety there. I must say I've got a little bit of everything, a little bit of romance, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of nonfiction. It's probably my most diverse reading month that I've ever picked with the TBR jar. And that's really, like I said at the beginning of the video, that is what this is for me to read things that I wouldn't normally reach for right off the bat. So that being said, that is the video. Comment down below what your most anticipated book of the month is, or maybe even what your favorite book was that you read in March. You will see my March reading wrap up coming up very shortly as well. I read some really great books in March that I'm excited to talk to you guys about. So great. Thanks for watching it again. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful April reading month to us all. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.